This is the third video. This will be a lot shorter than the previous two. What we're going to be focusing on here is task 3, which is, again, best guess. Now, task 3 is asking you to view issues for a particular student, which involves clicking on a student name to display a more detailed overview of the issues raised for them. Now, it could be in the exam that this is a separate form. It could be that it's in the exact same form as the personal tutor form. We don't know. But for the benefit of this demonstration, we're going to work with the actual tutor form that we were working with previously. So let's go back to our database. So just below here, we're going to have the details about the issue raised. So for example, if I was to click on Sam's issue for bullying, we'll get a more descriptive view, the comments and the date in which this occurred down below. And if we click here, it'll bring up the behavior issue for Jack down below. Again, just more details, things like comments, the date it happened, etc. So for that to happen, we're going to have to create a new query. Now, before I create this new query, there's one thing I need to change. Inside the student's issue query that I created for this, I'm actually going to have to add another field, and that field is going to be the issue ID. It's something I didn't bring across in the previous video, so something I need to do now is just double click on the issue ID. And this actually needs to be moved right to the front. Okay, so let's click here. We get rid of this first of all. We'll click here and we'll just drag it right to the front here. Okay, it's really important that it's at the front because when we reference this query, it takes the first column. Okay, so this needs to be right at the front. So let's save this and close it. Now, let's make a new query now to bring up the comments and the date for each of these issues here. Okay, so let's go to the create query wizard and let's bring in the issues raised. We want to know the information about the actual issue. So what we want to know is things like the comments, the date in which it happened. You might want to know what teacher is given the behavior points or the merit, so let's bring that in. And maybe, obviously, the issue ID. Yeah, the issue ID is going to come from the this area here, so we'll just go to here and we'll reference forms and we'll reference the tutor form, and this will be the student issues, which is what it's called. Now let's save this and close it, and we'll call it issue details. Click OK and save and close. Now, as you can see, the actual ID isn't appearing here just yet for the issue, so we may need to add that before we move on. So let's click on this. We'll go to property sheet and let's go to student issues and let's go data and let's bring in, oops, sorry, we need to choose this one and just make sure the student, the issue ID is appearing here, which it isn't just yet, so let's bring in the issue ID, which is right here, and let's again move it right, oops, it's going twice there, being too hasty. Let's bring it right to the front, just like that, and let's save and close. Now if we preview this, we're actually getting the issue ID now in front of the student ID, which is really important because in this query we're asking what is the issue ID. So let's put this down below here. Now I made this a little bit complicated because I didn't actually put the issue ID in first of all. So just bear that in mind. It is a lot simpler if you did put the issue ID in first of all. So let's get ourselves some more information about the actual issue. Let's get ourselves a list box, drag it along, and in here this will be obviously coming from a query. The query is called issue details, and we can bring all this information across here. Probably don't need the issue ID, but you can keep it there if you want, and go next, next, and finish. Now, one thing we got to do is we want to update the details of the issue here every single time we click And as you can see, it's not actually doing that. It's not refreshing the requery whenever we click on this. So we need to add a requery to this. Now, for that to happen, we need to create a requery. So create macro, and it's simply just a requery. That's all. Okay, so requery, save, give it a name called requery. Click OK. We need to assign that to this particular part of the form. So whenever we change something here, this needs to update. So let's go design view, and on this one here we'll go to event, and we'll go to, as you can see, there's no on change, but we'll go to after update. So every time it updates, we'll requery. And if we preview this now, if we click on bullying, it changes, so not complying. You need to make that a little wider, I guess, so that could be something you could do. Bullying, again, nasty to another student, homework, didn't complete homework. So that's now working, which is basically what's asking us to do here. So clicking on the student name to display a more detailed overview of the issue raised for them. Best of luck with that. You may want to spend some time tidying up this form, getting the correct labels on there, making this a little bit wider, and just generally a little more visually pleasing. So good luck with that.